All right, so let's talk about the domain of a logarithmic function. The domain of the logarithmic function y is equal to log base a of x is equal to the range of the exponential function x is equal to a to the y. The domain is 0, comma to positive infinity. The domain of a logarithmic function consists of the positive real numbers. So the argument of a logarithmic function must be greater than 0. Okay, so how to find the domain of a logarithmic function? Here we go. We're going to set this expression that I'm circling. We are going to set this expression x plus 8 greater than 0. Okay, so we have x is solving for x is greater than -8. Okay, so let's take a look at this function. We're going to set it up as an interval notation, but I want to take our graphing calculator. Okay, and I'm going to go to our y equals screen. Let's clear this, and I'm going to type in log, and then we're going to go to math, click on math, and then under the math feature we're going to go to the very bottom and find a, since we have a different base. Your calculator, where when you press the log button, is just for base 10. If you want any other base, you have to go into the math, press the math key here. So we want to tell it has a 7 as a base, and then we have here um, x plus 8. Okay, and let's see, I may have to go and delete something here because I think I have 2 logs. Yeah, let's delete that. Okay, there we go. So here's my graph. Okay, so I know that's kind of hard to see there, but let's go and look at our table. Look at look at -8, -9. If we go beyond that on the left side of the number line, then that means that in turn we would say undefined, but it's not a logarithmic function. So when we set the domain, our domain, it will be from -8 to positive infinity. Because if we go to the right of the, since we're looking for the domain, and we go to the right, look at how this graph was happening here. Okay, so to the left of -8, that's why we're not placing a bracket around 8. We're saying yes, -8 is the endpoint, but we're not including -8 as the official endpoint number, but it's an endpoint. Let's do another example. Finding the domain. We have f of x is equal to log of 5x minus 10. Here again, I'm going to keep reminding you this throughout the videos. When there isn't a base shown, it's an understood base of 10. So log of 5 minus x. So we're going to set 5 minus x greater than 0. Solve for x. So we're going to subtract 5. We have -x is greater than -5. Then we're going to divide by -1. And when we divide by -1, we're going to switch the signs. So we have x is less than 5. How will we write this interval notation out? Now, if you want to graph this to see, let's clear this. We can say log of 5 minus x, close it, and then our graph, here we go. I know it's kind of hard to see, but this is 2, 5, okay? Now, if we go to our table, let's see what happens. Look at 5 and on. There's an error because remember, it says the domain of a logarithmic function consists of all positive real numbers, so that the argument of the logarithmic function must be greater than 0. Well, we want this part of our logarithmic function to be a positive number. If we put in 6 here for x, that's going to give us -1. If we put 7 in for x, that's going to give us -2. We don't want that component to be negative. So our interval notation would be from -infinity, comma, 0, it's not 0, let's correct that, 5. Let's rewrite this over, -infinity, comma, 5. There we go.